Hey there, so today we're going to be making a whole grain farro risotto. It's going to have chicken, mushroom, spinach. It's not going to really be made in the traditional risotto way, so it's not going to be all stirring. Let me just show you what you need to get started. Here we have some whole grain farro, a garlic cream, some leftover roasted chicken from yesterday. Then for the fresh ingredients we have some spinach, 2 kinds of mushrooms, cremini and shiitakes. Then we have some fresh thyme and some fresh chives that are going to make it special. So we're going to start by first salting our boiling water before we add the farro. This is going to help season it. And here I have the farro, which I've soaked overnight in the refrigerator. 3 parts water to 1 part farro. It's just going to help speed up the cooking, so you're not going to be in front of the pot all day. So we're going to add it and cook in the boiling water till it's just al dente, and then we can finish cooking it in the cream. So while the farro is cooking behind me, I'm going to start prepping up the vegetables so we can add them later to the risotto. I'm going to start here first with the cremini mushrooms. What you're going to want to do is you halve them first, and then we're going to cut them into thirds. So we're just going to have them down the middle and work everything at one time. Do one step, you'll work faster, make a little more sense. Let's add these to the bowl. This size of them is going to add a nice little texture and a little bit of chew to the risotto as well. So you want to keep them, you don't want to slice them super fine. Now we're going to move on to the spinach. So the spinach is going to wilt in the risotto, so we don't have to worry too much about cutting it super fine or anything. And the key with this is you really just want to get the leafy parts, you don't want to get too much of the stem. So we'll put it all together like this. Okay. And give it a nice slice. There we go. The stems we can put aside, use them for something else, maybe a juice. So now that we've got that done, I'm going to turn around and check on the farro. You just want to take a spoon, take out a little piece, and the best way to find out is really just to bite it. Bite it in half. If there's still white in the center, you have more to go. You'll taste it. It'll be chewy. When it's ready, it's still a little hard. So we've got a little more to go on that. So here I have some leftover chicken meat. You definitely want to use the thigh and the leg. It's going to be less dry. So what I did is just pulled it apart. You don't have to shred it super fine or anything. The only thing you do want to do is go through it, make sure there's not any pieces of cartilage or anything that you wouldn't want to use. But it'll break apart a little bit more in the risotto, so like I said, it doesn't have to be shredded like crazy. So now that we have everything prepped, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to drain the farro, and then we can get moving. Go. So now we're moving on to the mushrooms. I have the pan on medium-high heat, and I have a little oil. We're going to add the mushrooms. You want to hear that sear, that sizzle. Add a little salt at this point. Help them extract their moisture a little bit. So in the back here, I had the farro that I drained out. As you can see, it's nice and plump. It's a little al dente, so we're going to continue to cook it in the garlic cream in just a minute. So I'm now going to add that to the farro, not all of it, just until it barely covers it. There we go. And to the risotto, I'm just going to take a little bit of the fresh thyme leaves, throw them in now so it'll infuse into the garlic cream. The next step is I'm going to glaze them with a little balsamic vinegar and a little butter. So what I like to do, take it off the heat completely, add a good amount of vinegar, okay, but you got to be ready to add the butter right away. So I'm going to add some vinegar, shake it around, just like that. Put it back on the heat, let it reduce a little bit. And this is called glazing. I'm going to throw in a knob of butter, like this. You want to keep it moving. So I just want to taste one. Just be careful to blow it because it's definitely going to burn you. I think it needs a pinch of salt. Don't be scared of the salt. And then we can just leave this on the back burner for now. Turn off this heat. Now we'll move on to the risotto. See, the cream is starting to reduce a little bit. So at this point, it's reducing pretty well. The farro is basically cooked all the way through, almost ready to go. It's still a little loose, but now I want to add the chicken, so it'll heat through. So, adding the chicken in, just like that. Okay, stir it in. This is such an easier alternative to making risotto. With a traditional risotto, you're literally going to be sitting in front of the pot for about 40 minutes stirring. So this is a much easier way to like get the same sort of like creamy result. Now I'm going to turn it down to low. What we're going to do is first I'm going to wilt in the spinach. Okay. See that? It's starting to wilt nice and beautifully. It's not going to overcook. Last thing we want to do is add in our mushrooms. I'm just going to spoon them out, just like that. And this is going to add a nice vinegary bite to it as well. It's all pretty much one note right now. Wow. Okay, so now finally we get to plate up and I get to eat because I'm starving. So I like to use a nice wide rim bowl. We're going to take the risotto off the stove, give it a few stirs, make sure it's all mixed together and hot, and then we're going to place it right in the center of the bowl. We just want to put a few big spoonfuls right in the center, nice and rustic. Looks like a beautiful portion. Okay, and then we're going to sprinkle it with a few chives, fresh chives, give it a little pop of color. Now we get to try it. Make sure I get everything, the chicken, the mushroom. It's so good. The farro has like a nice bite to it. You get the acidity from the mushrooms. Chicken is not overcooked, it's perfect. Such a great winter dish. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed. Check out the recipe below.